Sometimes, a single image can expose more than intended, revealing uncomfortable truths beneath a polished surface. That's exactly what happened at a Windsor Castle state banquet, when one photo of Kate Middleton ignited a firestorm of criticism and controversy online. In the image, Catherine, Princess of Wales, is seen beside Donald Trump, her face marked by a conspicuous, almost eager smile. The display of warmth, especially in such a formal, politically charged setting, raised eyebrows and drew accusations of insensitivity and poor judgment. Captured on September 17, 2025, the photo spread rapidly across social media, not because of admiration, but because of the outrage it provoked. The world questioned her motives and the appropriateness of her actions. For many, the sight was deeply unsettling. The future Queen Consort, grinning at a recently convicted, divisive US president. The lack of discernment and apparent disregard for public sentiment was impossible to ignore. Social media platforms exploded with criticism as millions scrutinized every detail: her forced smile, posture, the calculated tilt of her head, and seeming comfort in a moment many found offensive. Comment threads and forums filled with condemnation and disbelief. Was this a tone-deaf attempt at royal diplomacy, or simply a lack of awareness about the gravity of the situation? Some wondered if she was sending a careless message, or just oblivious to the consequences of her actions. The image forced the world to question Kate's judgment. Was she hiding behind her royal role, or did this moment reveal a troubling side to her character? This wasn't just a casual misstep. The entire event was orchestrated, every gesture and glance under scrutiny, yet Kate's actions seemed oblivious to the optics and the outrage they would provoke. In that one ill-judged smile, people saw the collision of outdated royal tradition with the harsh realities of modern politics, and a royal figure seemingly out of touch with the world's expectations. The image quickly became a symbol of royal miscalculation, prompting millions to ask, did this moment signal a dangerous disconnect between the crown and the people it claims to represent? What made the image so controversial was how blatantly it contradicted Kate's carefully crafted image of reserve. She's built a reputation for composure, rarely showing genuine warmth, especially toward those outside her circle. Yet, her beaming smile for Trump seemed almost performative, raising eyebrows everywhere. Especially when compared to her famously cold demeanor with Meghan, the contrast felt calculated. Stories of tension between the two duchesses have long suggested Kate is quick to let personal feelings dictate public behavior. So why the sudden warmth for Trump? A controversial figure? Was it just diplomatic posturing, or does it expose a willingness to play favorites when it suits her? The inconsistency raises questions about authenticity. Does Kate hide behind a mask, or simply use it as a tool to manipulate perception? Her actions reveal a woman more calculating and image-conscious than her relatable persona would have us believe. The tale of two duchesses, and now a president, exposes a far more questionable side to the Princess of Wales. The Windsor Castle banquet was a display of royal excess, designed to reinforce the monarchy's privilege rather than relevance. Kate, seated between King Charles and President Trump, donned a lavish gown and Diana's famous lover's knot tiara, an image of opulence that drew criticism for extravagance. The event was tightly orchestrated, but Kate's enthusiastic response to Trump's public compliment, so radiant, healthy, beautiful, raised eyebrows. Cameras caught her beaming smile, sparking criticism over willingness to play along with Trump's flattery. Was her reaction simply polite, or did it signal a troubling eagerness to appease a controversial figure? The evening, intended to project soft power, instead exposed the monarchy's willingness to court divisive guests for image. Kate's apparent ease and charm overshadowed the substance, drawing criticism for prioritizing spectacle over principle. In charming a polarizing guest, she fueled debate about the monarchy's values and willingness to compromise for public relations. The viral photo forced a closer look at Kate's motives, sparking intense debate across social media and in the press. Was her warmth simply diplomatic duty, a matter of royal protocol, or a calculated move to align with a controversial figure for personal gain? Some argue she was just doing her job, projecting royal soft power as expected from a modern duchess. Others see a deliberate strategy, arguing that the monarchy, facing global uncertainty, is using Kate's immense popularity to secure its future relevance. Perhaps she's not just a passive participant, but a key player in royal realpolitik, manipulating perceptions behind the scenes. Or maybe, most unsettling of all, her delight was genuine, hinting at unexpected affinities between the monarchy and Trump's world, raising questions about her true character. Whatever the truth may be, the moment challenged everything her admirers thought they knew about her role and intentions. The day after the banquet, Kate and Melania Trump staged a joint event at Frogmore Gardens, carefully distanced from the usual royal spectacle. The event was framed around children's well-being and nature, but critics noted how orchestrated Kate's interactions appeared, kneeling in the grass, laughing on cue, and sharing rehearsed anecdotes. Her remarks about outdoor time aiding her cancer recovery were seen by some as an attempt to deflect from recent controversies and soften her public image. Rather than genuine diplomacy, the event was criticized as a calculated PR move, leaning heavily on maternal tropes to appear relatable. Even gestures like gifting honey from her own bees were dismissed by some as superficial attempts to manufacture warmth. Melania's reciprocal gift of White House honey only underscored the event's performative nature. The summit was less about bridging divides and more about image management, with Kate's actions scrutinized for lacking authenticity. As speculation about her political stance persisted, critics argued that her attempts to appear as a modern, caring royal rang hollow. Kate's engagement with the Trumps sparked outrage and disappointment, with many questioning her judgment and the values she represents. The controversy quickly dominated headlines, as people everywhere expressed frustration and disbelief at her actions. While some traditionalists tried to defend her, claiming she was simply following protocol, critics saw her behavior as tone-deaf and out of touch. Her insistence on maintaining royal decorum seemed to ignore the real-world implications of her choices. Progressives and many members of the public felt let down by her apparent warmth toward a divisive figure. Her actions were seen as a betrayal of modern values and a failure to stand with those who feel marginalized or harmed by the Trump administration. Social media exploded with criticism as hashtags and opinion pieces condemned her decision. Online debates highlighted her lack of awareness and the growing disconnect between the royals and the public. To her dwindling supporters, she still represented tradition, but for many, her actions only reinforced the monarchy's irrelevance and inability to adapt to changing times. For a growing number, Kate's choices crossed a moral line. Her critics argued that she prioritized outdated customs over empathy and progress, deepening the sense of disappointment and alienation. The controversy became a symbol of the monarchy's failure to evolve, with Kate at the center of criticism about privilege, insensitivity, and the outdated role of public figures in modern society. Her actions forced a stark divide, making her more controversial than ever. The nation split, with many openly questioning her relevance and fitness for her role. The incident exposed how out of touch the royals can be, expected to be neutral, yet constantly making political statements, whether they admit it or not. Every move Kate made was seen as a misstep, fueling further criticism. By clinging to tradition, Kate alienated many who once admired her, while her defenders grew fewer and more isolated. The controversy only widened the gap between the monarchy and the public. In today's world, every royal gesture is scrutinized, and Kate's missteps have shown just how quickly public opinion can turn. The consequences for her reputation and for the monarchy may be lasting and severe. What does this moment mean for the future? As the world watches, Catherine, Princess of Wales, finds herself at a crossroads, yet her every gesture and expression now seem more calculated than sincere. The choices she makes in these pivotal moments could just as easily undermine her legacy and cast doubt on the direction of the British monarchy. Kate's viral smile, rather than signalling a turning point, raises questions about authenticity. Is she truly stepping up as a strategist, or simply playing to cameras? Her public poise and confidence may mask a lack of genuine conviction, suggesting a woman more concerned with image than substance. Instead of emerging as a key architect of the royal family's future, she risks becoming a symbol of superficial change. Her willingness to engage in high-stakes diplomacy and weather backlash may seem bold, but it also exposes a troubling eagerness to court controversy. Catherine's attempts to navigate complex international relationships while maintaining a carefully curated image hint at a modernized approach to royal duty that risks prioritizing optics over genuine leadership. The monarchy, once defined by quiet neutrality, now appears to be drifting toward a more opportunistic, image-driven approach. This shift could undermine the very foundation of what it means to be royal in the 21st century, as the institution struggles to adapt to a rapidly changing world and increasingly skeptical public. By stepping into the political arena, Catherine risks eroding the mystique and dignity that have long sustained royal power. The delicate balance between visibility and enigma is what has set the monarchy apart, and her missteps could have lasting, damaging consequences for its authority and allure. Kate's warmth toward Trump may win her fleeting influence, but it risks alienating younger, more critical generations and damaging the Crown's reputation. The challenge she faces is not just about appealing to tradition-minded supporters, but about convincing a new audience that her actions are more than just performative. Was her smile a genuine diplomatic gesture, or simply a calculated move to maintain relevance? Only time will tell if Catherine's approach will truly usher in a new era for the monarchy, or if it will be remembered as another example of royal posturing in the face of real challenges. One thing is certain: Catherine's actions are now under intense scrutiny. As she steps into this new chapter, the public's trust is far from guaranteed, and her decisions may ultimately determine whether she is remembered as a force for positive change or as a symbol of the monarchy's ongoing struggle to remain relevant.